Hi, my name is Cynthia. I'm Audri.
Martin, Daniel.
And we're doing Pathways of Hope. This program has been operating for about 37 years and serves the community in the Fullerton area by providing emergency services, for example, like family transitional living centers, adult transitional living centers, rapid rehousing, emergency food assistance, and holiday programs. And it's a nonprofit program designed to help like struggling families or individuals that are homeless or at risk of being homeless. Their mission statement is rebuilding the lives of the hungry and the homeless, and it focuses on addressing the needs of helping adults and families who are low income and without housing in the Orange County, specifically like the Fullerton and the Anaheim area. By giving them like job training skills, basic life skills like managing money, opening savings accounts, and then managing like stress circumstances that they cannot do on their own that leads them to being homeless. And the target population is adults and families who are low income or without housing in the Orange County area. In order to receive services from Pathways of Hope, families and individuals must be homeless, employed with no mental health illnesses, determined and motivated, and individuals enter Pathways of Hope with the drive and willingness to change their living conditions. And how do we know that this is the current problem emerging in the Orange County area? I got the information from the Orange County Homeless Census and Survey that is done annually to record the decrease or increase of the homeless population. And as you can see, we have it's categorized by sheltered and unsheltered people, and there's mostly more unsheltered people than that are actually not getting help as they're supposed to be getting help. And how the problems have changed. The issues of homelessness have changed over time. We can see this by the founders that are actually providing the money for Pathway to Hope. They give really strict regulations to what the program could do, and because of these regulations, they focus only on the housing and the agency's ability to house individuals within a 3-month period, and that's about it. In 3 months, they have to reach their goals, and it's mostly a rapid rehousing instead of a transitional housing area. And because of this, because of the regulations, the agency has less time to work with clients, and cannot provide as much services as they would like to provide them, or to give them the ability and the strength to actually move on within the 3-month period. And what methods are used to identify local people in need of these services? Well, it's mostly like a voluntary program. People who come in that are in need of assistance. A lot of it is done also by the church. That different types of churches provide emergency food assistance, and people that go to those churches actually get referred back to the program. Or there are also referrals by other agencies, such like well-known agencies, for example, Casa Teresa, the O2 Rescue Mission, United Way, Orange County. And then the transitional housing program determines eligibility through initial phone screening, in-person interview assessments, and by providing persons of reference.
The employment, they go under the interview process. The eligibility is based on experiences, skills, and education, and we work with similar agencies. They also look at the resume and employees and volunteers, application and training create employees. The employment assistance program is designed to help with stress and burnout and to provide training hours blocks. But the education is mostly in a bachelor's degree or higher, and they have diverse staff. This agency also relies on volunteer and interested instrument projects. Entrance go to the interview is eligible based on the above criteria as well. And next is data collection for volunteers. Volunteer drives with college students from various colleges, including Southeast Fullerton. The information collected consists school and employment history, bottom is data is collected by Chris Jeremy, the administrator. He is the one who speaks previous volunteer workers and works with many schools and refers to the program. What evidence do we have in staff skills and compensation? It says that paid staff, volunteers, and interested all apply in a similar qualification. Many of the skills and qualifications can be found in the resumes, but repetitive calls were also made to determine their work ethic and in the ways that they contribute to the attached job. Evaluation of staff implemented by case manager and program supervisor. Staff training. In Orange County, there are meetings once in the education services that are due at least twice a week in different locations in Orange County. This agency encourages the staff and volunteers to attend these open meetings and the educational experiences to further their knowledge on affordable housing, new issues and concerning HUD, non-profit agencies and rural agencies, the assisting problem on the homeless. After the extended side training is done by Cynthia. The site training is put into effect 3 times a month and is assisted by training logs and time completion sheets. Staff performances. Evaluations are done in 3, 6, and 12 months. There are supervisory meetings, management meetings, and independent meetings. Final is the services rendered to clients. Before clients receive any services by the program, they participate in the evaluation process made by the distribution center program manager, people who determines what services the client is mostly needed for. She is able to conclude that this is analyzing the client's application and reviewing the client's needs and interests. Depending on the client's current living status, there are 2 family sites, and one is the adult site that they can attend to. This is a 3-month program that will allow clients to, side by side with the case manager, to set goals and support services that focus on life skills topics, budgeting and career development, job searching assistance, and counseling. And other living habits that allow clients to become successful and independent.
And the next section is client outcomes. Outcomes are measured by employment, total monthly savings, housing status, case management, and other municipal development. Case management is really the big key in evaluating if people can see the program and how if they are succeeding in receiving housing and saving. Success is measured by case management assessment, the development matrix score. The development matrix score looks at 10 aspects of growth and success and how it increases when individuals and families leave the program. The point of that is to show positive change, and it helps staff to better address clients' needs and areas of improvement in the future. As for success outcomes, are noted agency as it's a 3-month program. Like Cynthia was saying, it has had to decrease its time, so it's a shorter time that they need to get all their services completed. The goal is to obtain housing and to not re-enter the transitional housing shelters or emergency shelter programs. The way they help do this is the program is set up where 80% of their savings goes towards down deposit to a house or living area, and then the 20% goes towards just normal living, so like groceries or just daily necessities. Knowledge gained while in the program. Many clients go through sensitive management and counseling, help them understand the concepts of saving, managing, budgeting, and other living information that helps them to be successful and live independently. How this is measured is by if they obtain a job and discovering ways to enter the program. You have to be sober, but just ways to continue that. like I said earlier, the matrix tracking system and the HMIS assessment that evaluates clients from the beginning and to the end of services. Outcomes continue with changes in behaviors and beliefs. Topics of hope is determined to change the client's behavior on the issue of homelessness. The main way is to increase their knowledge and life skills and money management mainly, and also to increase their self-esteem. Not being without a house can lower your self-esteem, and this is a way to get them to be self-sufficient. And this is measured by pre- and post-assessment during the program, and the HUD data. They actually rely heavily on HUD data. Going on to the second part, they use internal data obtained from case managers, so there's a lot of responsibility on case managers because they have to collect so much data and report so much data. HUD tracking records, standardized forms, they really emphasize that HUD has specific requirements and specific statistics that they have to keep track of, and continuing to track the percentage of those who found employment, those who graduated from the housing program. Efficiency, how do you evaluate the overall cost efficiency of your program? What they said was that the budget was actually pretty consistent because it is a small agency and it's only type in bulletin. Unfortunately, they didn't elaborate a lot on that. And also the cost efficiency because it's a nonprofit, there's a lot of donations. All the furniture, majority of the staff is interns that are helping. There aren't too many paid positions. What services offered by this program are done by volunteers? Like I was saying, 75% of the volunteers are utilized in this agency, which is pretty high. What volunteers do, or they help at the food distribution center, food kitchen, an office, grocery shopping, interviewing, and programs include Project Read, which is a tutoring for the children that reside in the shelter, career-wise, and budget planning classes.
This is efficiency continues. Are any portions of the services underutilized, and are they assessing this? One of the goals of the program committee is to review and evaluate the program and how efficient it is and what programs are being underutilized. There is an adult interfaith shelter in downtown Fullerton. It is underutilized because it's being under construction at the moment. It has been moved to, it will be moved to a permanent site. Prior to that, prior to the move, it seemed that the service was underutilized because more money was spent towards the maintenance of the program and the overall look instead of the family transitional housing. What makes this location optimal for client access? In Fullerton, they receive free meals, therefore showing the need for assistance to those without housing. There's also a nearby church, additional services around there. There's walking distance to schools and distribution centers, so the clients have access to what they need around there. What methods do you use to determine the effectiveness of the program and the activities? There are various ways. They also take pre- and post surveys, pre- and post tests, and evaluation of the course. One of the strengths pathways of both demonstrated was efficiency in assessing refined outcomes and flexibility. For example, since the transitional housing program is committed for only 3 months, they focus in the immediate needs of the client. In the past program was 8 months, it was an eight month program before, and then it decreased to 4. Within the last year, it has decreased to 3 in most programs. The decrease in time spent shows the agency's flexibility and ability to act as priority. In other words, what is most important for the client. With such a small amount of time, the agency's responsibility is to increase the knowledge of the client and house in a timely manner. Pathways of both addresses its client's needs and implement activities to reach the goal for them to find their own house.
Just to add on to this too, another strength is that housing a family of 7 to 10 children or a total of 10 in a household, so they're able to allow a bigger family to come in.
Pathways of Home did show a few weaknesses though. One of the weaknesses was their definition of success. We didn't have a clear definition of what success was to them. Because clients, at the end of the service, we didn't have a clear way to measure how far they had gone. It seems that there is a conflict between the HCD and the agencies because essentially agencies need to follow the HCD rules and requirements in order to receive financial assistance. Another weakness was to determine if a client was adequate candidate for the program because motivation is always important and it is hard to measure motivation. So a client could be more motivated than another one, so it's kind of hard to measure that. It came down to the case manager if she thought a client was adequate for the program or not. Also, another problem or weakness was the volunteers. When we asked about the volunteers, they didn't emphasize about adequate volunteers. It was more willingly, so they're volunteers for most who want to volunteer, not specifically if they wanted to, like if they were strong volunteers for specific portions of the program. So they just wanted people in instead of quality, with quantity.